Let's get to the bottom of this one. Unspoken truths that I miss one. Tap into the minds of the people, rather acknowledge before I dismiss one. Atheists, Muslim, Christians, Buddhists, they all got usage, all got perspective. It's a collective. Get to the bottom where the truth is, where the heart's uncovered, where you detox from all of the lies you smothered. When them tries could have killed you, but with faith you recover. Yeah, peel off the makeup, we finna take off. Never said it'd be a cakewalk. Meditate till we charged up. Execute goals regardless. Decalcify my pineal, breaking language barriers, we saw millennials. Planets passing age rotations, down me we owe, so down me we know. Sometimes we can't be slow, that's why my ears open. Every drop you add could complete the ocean. Speak up, play your part too. Been vulnerable, it's so hard to reflect on all the juice like taught you. It's on you, tell the truth.
Yeah, we about to have a good conversation. Yeah, let's go. We about to have a good conversation. Yeah, let's go. We about to have a good conversation. Yeah, let's go. Listen. Yeah. Aim in the fit so you see in the mirror. Play with your focus and watch it get clear. Polish your crown, turn it up if you wear it. You live in the root, release what you're fearing. And watch it all rise, the righteous will hear it. They calling us twisted, I'm not even caring. Because as I've seen, the mind is too barren. They won't even heal it, they pass it to cheering. We over here healing, conversing and listening. Know that the truth isn't always appealing, but end it with healing and find your beginning. Frequency positive, what you receiving. Perception is up to you, what you believing. What you retrieving, mentally speaking. Life that they breathing, no words from a heathen. Don't know it all, but together undefeated. Conversation rather one you need it. Could fill up your tank before it's depleted. Don't care if you calling on Allah, Jesus, Buddha or Christian, not being facetious. Come to the tribe with the students and teachers. All got a voice, we the ears that'll listen. We the ears that'll listen. We the ears that'll listen. Conversation rather one you need it. Could fill up your tank before it's depleted. Don't care if you calling on Allah, Jesus, Buddha or Christian, not being facetious. Come to the tribe with the students and teachers. All got a voice, we the ears that'll listen. We the ears that'll listen. We the ears that'll listen. Hey. Yeah. We about to have a good conversation. Yeah, let's go. We about to have a good conversation. Yeah, let's go. Praying for truth cause the world is so fickle. Keeping my mental how clean as a whistle. Attention's a trap, they can lead you astray. Steering this ship through the storm and the haze. Real conversations are lost in the greed. Others get lost in the web that it weaves. Sift through the rhetoric, uncover schemes. Knowledge inherited, this is imperative. I got a lot on my mind and I'm sharing it. Apples to oranges, it ain't no comparisons. I'm the type that'll never break character. I'm the type to make memories and cherish them. Trust intuition and doubt of disparity. Pursuing the echoes of wisdom. Chasing that moment of clarity. Conversation rather one and you need it. Come fill up your tank before it's depleted. Don't care if you calling on Allah, Jesus, Buddha or Christian, not being facetious. Come to the track with the students and teachers. All got a voice, who the ears that'll listen. We the ears that'll listen. We the ears that'll listen. Conversation rather one and you need it. Come fill up your tank before it's depleted. Don't care if you calling on Allah, Jesus, Buddha or Christian, not being facetious. Come to the track with the students and teachers. All got a voice, who the ears that'll listen. Who the ears that'll listen. We the ears that'll listen.
It's on you, tell the truth.
Peace. What if the moments that change you are the very ones showing you who you are becoming? Not when everything is calm, when it feels familiar, same emotions, same pressure, same pull to react the way you always have. Tonight, we continue week 7 of our GPS healing journey. Who am I becoming? Because this is where we get tested, not to break us, although to reveal who we truly are. As we move through this conversation, we continue stepping into something deeper, the 12 laws of karma, not as punishment, although as reflection. Tonight, we explore the remaining 6, so you can begin to see how what you've been experiencing has all been connected. So tonight we ask you, who are you when life tests you? Can you get into the deeper meaning? Or no, hold on 1 second. Take a moment before we get into the deeper meaning. I want people to sit with this for a second. When life gets quiet and there's no one around, are you truly at peace with who you are becoming? And if nothing changes around you, would you still choose that path that you're on right now? Where the ears that will listen, where your opinion matters. Can you get into the deeper meaning for me, Golden Eagle?
For sure, yeah. When life tests you, it rarely looks new, feels familiar. Moments like this aren't random, they're connected. What some call karma, not as punishment, although as reflection, because what shows up is showing you something. Focus. Where your attention goes in those moments matters. Giving and hospitality. How you live reflects what you believe, here and now. Can you stay present or do you leave the moment? Change. How the same things repeat until you respond differently. Patience. Understanding growth takes time and is built through consistent choices and significance, knowing that even the smallest shift in how you respond matters. So when life tests you, the question isn't just, why is this happening? It becomes, who am I becoming? When I choose how to respond, let's have a good conversation.
Man, who am I becoming when I choose how to respond? That's heavy. You know, that goes on back on what you said that you've been working with a lot lately, and that's holding your tongue and
Yeah.
thinking before you speak. If that's not affirmation, I don't know what is.
Right. That's kind of what I was thinking when I was reading it. Like, wow, that's kind of spot on. Definitely. Yeah, the difference between responding and reacting, and yeah. I'm slowly seeing the difference, figuring it out, man, because you can't just respond, man. You have to react, or sorry, you can't just react. You have to respond. And a response is a little more controlled. And it does shape who you are, man. It shapes how you affect others, even more importantly. So yeah, it's a big thing.
Do you remember? Do you
That's
remember when
right.
your kids were little? You used to say to them, "Don't respond just to respond. Listen to what I'm saying. Receive
Yeah.
my message.
Yeah.
Think before you speak. Think before you act." We're good at telling our children that, right? Or other people that. But when it comes to our own patience and our own overstanding and reaction, it's harder.
For sure.
And that makes me think of a lot of things. That makes me think of, like, how do we expect somebody else to walk if we don't know how to walk?
Right.
Man, I've learned so much in this journey.
Just want to point out, I've been told a time or two actually, but reactions based on emotion. Responding is a choice.
It is. And how you come with that choice makes a difference on your character of who you are as an individual.
Right.
Yeah, I've learned so much along this journey, like I was saying. Then I made a post today about this, and that the universe, there's two truths in one. And I love that with the universe, even though it's a matter-of-fact thing, there still gives you two truths. Now, the choices that you made in life and what you had in your past, that's because of who you were. So with that truth also can be the truth of you can become what you want.
Right.
Because what you change and what you choose to step into will reflect onto you. You will get the life that you deserve and want to deserve, that is ordained to you if you have the control. And that's the control of change.
Right. And control of oneself, because again, that whole response thing, you can either control your emotions and react, or you can control yourself and give a controlled response.
So as we move into these questions, you may hear reflection of what some call the laws of karma. How everything we think, choose, and do connects. Tonight isn't about that, it's about what what we know. It's about who we are and who do we want to be when it matters the most. So when you're being tested, where does your focus go first? Does it go towards growth or does it go towards fear?
Lately, it's been going towards growth, and even more importantly, like I've said, almost every show, I have to consistently remind myself to stay grounded. As long as I can, as long as I can stay grounded, I'll take that time, even if it's just one breath, enough to respond and not react. But
Yes, Allison, reaction can lead to bigger mistakes,
yes,
and it can also lead by emotions and not thought.
right, exactly. And
Change
yeah,
is amazing, embracing the power. Yes, indeed, indeed. Change definitely is amazing. Now, I had again two truths in one. I don't fear the change. I fear that I let myself down. I fear that, am I making the right choices because before I never did.
right,
And then I had to remember that's not something I need to fear because that's survival. That's when I get back in that survival mind state of fight, flight, or freeze. And I don't have to worry about something that I may do again because I am not the same version of me that I once was. And that right there was breathtaking and also very I don't want to say scary because it wasn't scary. It was more unfamiliar. I enjoyed it, but it was very unfamiliar.
right.
So when I'm being tested, where does my focus come from first? Towards growth or towards fear? So it's honestly it's and that speaks on focus of the law of karma. And I'm gonna say actually it comes from change and growth. I've always said that I don't want something that I've ever had before. And if I want different, then I must become the difference. Because after a while, I can't blame everybody for failed marriages, failed relationships, failed jobs, failed parenting, whatever the case may be that I did not succeed to my expectations in. I can't blame everybody every time. Eventually, I have to look at source and realize maybe it's something I said or did.
Right.
Maybe it's
Yeah.
something I need to work on within me.
Yeah, you got we got to own it. We got to hold ourselves accountable.
Facts, facts. And why do I keep attracting these same type of individuals? I know why now. Because I had to fix something within me. I had to see it through somebody else to realize what was in me that I was not working on. I can't blame somebody else for their healing, and I can't blame somebody else for how they react.
Yeah, no
That,
doubt.
that was so powerful for me to realize that, you know. So, do your actions in those moments reflect what you say you believe, or is it something different? And that connects with to giving and what is it, hospitality? Is it hospitality? No. Yeah.
Actions in those moments reflect what you say you believe. I mean, I guess it depends on what the action is. If the action is just reacting, then it more reflects my emotion. But if the action is a thought through response, then it's probably gonna reflect what I believe. So yeah, and it depends on the moment and and how grounded I am.
Allison said that's so beautiful, beautifully true. We sometimes have to lose ourselves to grow, lose that egocentric view. And that's exactly what it is because I started thinking, where am I coming from? Am I coming from pride? Am I coming from ego? Am I coming from authenticity?
Mm,
And if you come from authenticity, I spoke on this so much. If you come from authenticity, Nothing you say or do could be wrong because it's who you are and how you feel. Because somebody else doesn't see your boundaries as acceptable boundaries doesn't mean they're not for you.
Right. Yeah, I
So
mean, we all have our own, you know. We yeah, and that can be different from person to person.
mhm. So when I say it, do my actions at the moment, do they reflect what I say that I believe, or is it something different? I don't talk about what I believe anymore because a belief system is something that can be changed. It's questioned. It's something that's not solid. When it
Right.
comes to how you feel, you have to talk with certainty of knowing.
Mm, yeah.
We believed in tooth fairies. We believed
Speak for
in
yourself.
I'm just saying, at one time in life, we believed in a lot of things that aren't really true.
Right, right. I got you.
And what we really truly know, though, is who we are. We can't second guess it. That can't be a belief system on how we believe. That has to be a knowing. You have to stand in that authenticity, and you have to be in your authentic voice at all times. In this world, you have, I can barely read it. Can you read it?
Let's see where we're at.
It's on the screen.
No, I can't read that.
No, me either. In this world, we
Oh,
have to think more
linear. Yeah, okay.
linear. It's not only what happens now, but may continue to happen by our reactions. It's a butterfly effect in sense. Well, kind of, yeah. It is. It is a butterfly effect in a sense. It kind of
Yeah.
is because every action is a reaction, but not every action deserves a reaction.
Right. And every action and reaction, I mean, they have a ripple effect. They you know, they affect everything outside you, or especially like if it's in conversation, you know, you react, and obviously your reaction affects the person you're conversating with. You respond, and it affects too, you know, and that ripples, man. That sends waves out, and sometimes when waves hit you, hit them, and then just reflect back too, you know. But yeah, that the butterfly effect kind of that makes a lot of sense to me. I really, yeah, I
You know,
see that.
I chose to come at this life with groundedness. And I try to push it onto others. And I don't mean push it as in, here, take this. This is what you need to do. I pass it and say, hey, stay grounded at all times. And as I'm doing that, I come from a different place. I don't come from a thinking of what could the consequences be. I don't come from a thinking of, am I making the right choices? I don't come from a place of, what about my future or my past? Because at that time, none of that really exists, because the only time that really matters is the now. And that's even in 5 minutes from now. The time of the now is the only thing that really, really matters in life. And how you hand yourself in that now makes a huge difference on how you may handle yourself in any other situation.
Sorry about that.
All right. But it's about living in that now, not worrying about the past, present, or the future, or other things that you cannot control. Because the only thing, honestly, that you can control is this now. Everything else doesn't exist.
Yeah, we're not promised tomorrow, you know. So yeah,
We're not even promised
all we
5 minutes
is
from
right
now.
now.
Yeah, we're not
Right.
even promised 5 minutes from now. And actually,
Exactly.
5 minutes from now doesn't exist ever, because it's never 5 minutes from now.
Right.
It's always this now. And so I started thinking that, and I was like, I don't think I'm non-human, okay? I want to put that out there just for those that think that I think I am. I realize that humans worry about the wrong things. Humans think of too many things and make things more difficult than they need to be in situations. They do. They overanalyze, over communicate, overshare, over everything. They do so much stuff in abundance. They don't just allow. They try to force. And it comes down from loving, learning, listening. And then until you really start just being and aligning, everything else is going to seem like it is forced. You want to know what happened when I first learned how to have a proper conversation with somebody?
Huh.
I had to shut my mouth and I was doing this to my fingers, like pinching them together, because I wanted to interrupt so much.
Mm.
Until I learned to really listen. Because I just wanted to communicate. I just want to be heard. I didn't really care, honestly, what they were saying. I wanted my opinion to matter. And then once I realized, did my opinion matter to me, or was I'm just trying to get validation from others? And then I was able to receive. It's not easy, though. It's not easy, especially when you're trying to fulfill a void. So when pressure hits, are you in the present moment, or does your mind pull you into the past or the future? And this reflects on the here and now.
Personally, I think I stay. That's probably the times that I do stay right here in the here and now. Honestly, I'm good under pressure, and so yeah, that usually the pressure probably helps keep me grounded. Actually, at the same time, I guess I can't always say that because, like I said, I've definitely been guilty of the reactionary aspect of communication. And I guess that's a form of pressure that I maybe I'm not considering when I say that, but I know I'm good under pressure. A lot of times when I feel like the pressure's on, that's when I demonstrate the most self discipline or self control and tend to stay right here in the now because I can't. I know in those moments that's not the time to fly away, man. That's the time to address whatever it is at hand, and I'm pretty good at getting straight to business when I'm feeling the pressure. So
How about you, listeners? How about you on TikTok? How are you guys under pressure? I don't even know what pressure is anymore.
Mm.
I don't, because I realize everything's a feeling and it's a choice that we have.
right,
Whether what we are giving that attention to, how we react with that attention. Even memories, what we hold within our memory bank, it's a choice. Either
right,
we choose to hold on to things that hurt us, or we choose to hold on to those happy moments. They're all temporary and they're all feelings, and they all have a place that we put in there for a reason, to make sense of something else, to have reasoning, to
right,
make everything make sense within our mind. This is why I am this way. This is why you are this way. This is why. And once we put things into that category, it may help simplify things, but at the end of the day, it's still labeling and it's still pointing and placing. I don't even know what pressure feels like. Even before the show, when I couldn't get my mic working or my sound working, I didn't feel anxiety. I didn't feel overwhelmed. I didn't feel anxious. I was just like, something's not right. I shut it down 4 times, restarted the computer 4 times, re-entered Instagram 4 times. And I didn't feel no type of way.
right.
I just felt something wasn't right. And it wasn't within me, it was with the system. So pressure is, I guess it could be almost like the placebo effect. If you give it attention, then it matters.
Yeah.
It's all about it's all about perception and how you see it.
Right.
Have you ever noticed certain situations repeating itself until you respond differently? And this is goes on the line of change.
Yeah, yeah. Shit, my whole life. That's honestly why I've been so strong on the giving. I'm responding, not reacting. And the whole staying grounded because I ain't never been the greatest at that. But I'm proud to say I've gotten really good at it. I still gotta practice. I'm no Michael Jordan. I ain't hitting every hoop. But yeah, so I'm still in practice mode, I guess, because I miss the shot every once in a while still, but yeah, I definitely have noticed. I mean, like I've seen a huge change. like I said, and in relationships, just in communication, when I'm taking the time to respond, not react. And I've always reacted. That's just, I never, I don't think until just a few years ago, I never even contemplated the difference. And
Mm.
so to me, my reaction was my response, period, until I learned the difference and then started practicing it. But since I put that into play and put that into practice, I see a huge difference for sure.
Do you know the true definition of dharma? And not I'm not talking about the basic. You have to go all the way back and chase that word from the beginning. What the true definition of dharma is.
I don't know that I do.
And I'm
I don't
gonna
think so.
simplify it because I can't know verbatim exactly what they were saying, but because it comes back all the way from, like, I think, like, Egyptian or something. It's a time before language was language, but
Okay.
nonetheless, the meaning represents having balance. That nothing around you will affect you because you're in that mode of balance.
Right.
That means someone can come at you like a dog attacking you, and
Yeah.
you have that calm center of knowing that you're not going to be hurt and nothing's going to happen.
Okay.
And it's just going to disappear.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I do get that. Like, yeah, kind of like I can't remember what there's a martial arts practice where it's like a non-aggressive self-defense, but they use it all. It's all in balance in how they take attacks and use it against their opponent, and they stay balanced, and they stay also just kind of like that metaphor, man. It's a lot easier to stay in your square, not get pulled off your square if you're
Yeah.
if you're well balanced. And that's kind of a reference to the I wish I could remember I want to say jujitsu, but I don't think that's not the one. It's I think it might be like Tai Chi. And like I said, it's a form of martial arts where they don't attack. They just I don't you got to see it, I guess. I'm gonna have to look it up later so I can show you what I'm talking about, because I've watched it and just been amazed at how these people can just how they stay balanced, when they're on the offense. Well, they don't even go on the offense. It's a constant defense and using their opponent's weight or momentum against them, and it's pretty amazing, man. Yeah, I'll have to look it up and show you what I'm talking about, because it's like Dharma in a physical form.
Have you remember the part in the Matrix where that young boy was telling Neo, you can't bend the spoon. Don't try to force to bend the spoon.
Yeah, yep,
You have to bend your reality and realize there's no spoon.
right,
And
yep,
that's kind of what it is. It's kind of about going beyond that moment at that moment,
right.
regardless of what situation. Like the floor of the elevator could be on fire and it's stuck and you can't get out, but you're calm.
hmm Yeah, yeah, and I'm gonna be stuck thinking about this all night. Honestly, I'm be researching because you gotta see what I'm talking about. Because like I said, it's a matter of balance and yeah, I'm gonna be stuck thinking about that. I'm pretty sure the martial arts practice of it that I'm talking about is called Tai Chi.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna have to, like I said, I'll have to check it out, but
Uh,
it's when you see it, it's pretty amazing. Honestly, it's like I said, it was mind blowing the first time I saw it. It was yeah.
So are you allowing yourself time to grow through what you're facing, or are you expecting immediate release and results? And
Oh no,
that's
I
comes
know.
from patience and reward.
I'm definitely not expecting immediate results. I mean, I know better than that. It's so yeah, being patient with myself isn't the easiest thing, but I'm a pretty patient man too. So it's working out. I see progress, and that's all I care for. Honestly, I don't care if it's baby steps. I'm happy with baby steps, actually, because baby steps are better than no steps. You know. That's,
Do you
Speaking
know
of,
that?
I took about 10 baby steps today, and it was the first time in 2 weeks. And I did
um,
that quite a few times, actually. So Yeah, I was patting myself on the back for sure. Like, them little baby steps are fucking huge. Excuse my language, but
Mm.
yeah, sometimes baby steps are the biggest ones you can take. It's,
You know
yeah.
that inner dialogue that people have, some don't have. That voice that you tell yourself, and you can hear like your inner thought saying, "Nah, don't say that, don't do that."
Mm-hmm.
So I do this often with myself. I will ask myself, am I reacting from fear? Am I reacting from hidden patterns? Am I reacting from comfort or survival mode? Is my nervous system allowing myself to change? Or is it, stopping me from growth? And because I am able to ask myself in the moment, and it seems like I'm freezing time and thought, and that I'm spending at least 15 minutes contemplating within my thoughts of what I'm doing within self, even though it's in with minutes of us talking. It's in the same breath that I'm speaking right now. I am able to stop myself and really think of my thoughts and think of the here now and everything else outside of my thought. And I have that inner dialogue saying to me, you're just staying grounded. You're just staying grounded.
Right.
And I'm so balanced at that point that I'm allowing myself to have a conscious thought process without just reacting.
Right.
I do it all the time. I do it in every conversation. I did it right now. I do it all the time. Like, if I hear somebody and I don't think that they're responding the way I want them to respond, I stop myself and say, okay, you're just reacting. And I catch myself constantly. It's that ADHD. So in those small moments where you choose differently. Oh, and for me, my question is, I basically answered, I'm growing, and I'm allowing myself to face, and I don't expect immediate results, but I mean, I'm not the same person that I used to be. So my results are similar to who I am. People mirror me so beautifully,
Right.
even the ones that are having an issue with themselves. So I don't think of anything outside of that. So in those small moments where you choose differently, do you recognize how much that actually matters? And that reflects on significance and inspiration.
Yeah, I definitely do. Um, yeah, I definitely do. Uh, those times recently, like where I'll catch myself on the verge of a reaction, and I pause long enough just to take one, just to close my mouth and inhale through my nose and breathe in. Just taking that one breath inwards, I'm taking myself in too, and I'm giving that pause so that I can give a response as opposed to reaction. And I've done that enough times where, like, when I do, it's almost like I immediately see how much worse that could have gone. So I mean, yeah, and instead I took that pause and that breath and gave a response as opposed to reaction.
Mm. Do you know how much power is in that?
I'm learning.
Yeah. There's a
Yeah,
lot of power in that pause. I swear there
right.
is. And some
Yes.
people don't receive that as in power. They just think, okay, whatever. No, you did something that most people can't do.
Mm.
I'm
Yeah.
proud of you.
Thank you.
Congratulations on that one.
Thank you.
That's a big step for you.
I see it as, that's just my way of reining myself in,
Yeah.
and staying grounded,
Mhm.
just utilizing a little more self-control. And in the process, man, I'm giving whoever it is that I'm communicating with, I'm giving them more love and respect in the process,
Yeah.
so it's not just that I'm doing that for myself, I'm doing that for others, and and it works out good for all of us. So it always works out better, you know. It's like
You know,
we said before, you know, when you communicate in a healthy manner, you receive
mhm.
better, you know, and I mean, to me, not being received is one of the most upsetting things. Like that really upsets me when I feel like I'm just not being heard. But in that, I've learned a lot, or realized my eyes have kind of opened up to how I'll be better received if I'm responding and not reacting.
Mhm.
And that's why in the past I wasn't received so well so often, because
Yeah.
I was reacting, you know, and again, like for most of my life, I didn't know the difference. I thought that was one and the same. I didn't realize that there's a huge difference. So
And you know what else I realized too, and that goes on to what you said, because everything you said was so accurate. The fact that I also learned, just because the response isn't the way that I expected it to be, doesn't mean it wasn't still a response.
right, right, yep,
Just because they didn't say exactly what I thought they should, or they didn't agree with me, doesn't mean they weren't listening to me, and it doesn't mean they didn't respond in their own way. And
yeah,
there's so much grace in that, and there's so much peace in knowing that you're not ignored just because it didn't receive the way you thought it should be, or they didn't respond to the words that you think they should have, doesn't mean that they ignored you.
right,
Their
right.
love
Even
language.
if it just means even if it just means that you're gonna be heard a little more, maybe not even necessarily every time, you know, that it just being, at least for myself, man, just knowing that I'm being received a little more often than I have felt like I have been in the past. That little bit matters, man. It matters a lot. It means a lot to me, and in a lot of ways. Not like I said, I'm giving that to myself just by taking that pause, and I'm also giving it to whoever I'm communicating with.
And like I was gonna say, their love language might be different than yours.
Right.
Their
Yes.
way of receiving and their way of communicating may be totally opposite than how you expect it to be. Doesn't mean that they're not coming from you in a genuine, authentic place of love.
Yes.
So, are you ready to walk in your truth and light that is meant for you? Or are you still choosing the version of you that feels comfortable?
No, I'm ready. I'm ready. And I'm not even making choices anymore. Like I said, I'm practicing that being like water. I'm letting things flow. Let it all come naturally, you know, let it come as it should. I can't force anything, and I know that, and the only thing I have control of is myself. So yeah, I'm ready. Um, yeah, yeah, I feel pretty confident saying that too. Actually, there
Good,
was no hesitation when I heard
good,
that
good.
question. No, I'm ready. Yeah,
You know what our nervous system ends up doing to us until we keep rewriting our thoughts, until we keep, you know, what is that neural, oh, we talked about it just recently.
neural pathways.
Yeah, but it's
Was it?
called neural,
Oh,
well, anyways, you know
yes, yes. I know. I know what you're saying.
nonetheless, it took us forever to figure it out in the first place. But
Right.
until we got to that point of rewriting how we saw our things, I'm telling you, our nervous system is insane. Our body, we've
Yes.
trained it so much to be in protective mode. We have survival mode, survival mode, survival mode. We constantly put that into our body and allowed our nervous system to have that as its own. And that do you ever feel like when you're okay and just at peace at anything, and whatever's meant to happen shall happen, and you're just ready for it? It doesn't matter if you're going to do it alone. It doesn't matter if you're going to have an army beside you. It doesn't matter if nobody listens. It doesn't matter if the whole world listens. That reaction is the same.
Yeah.
You're still ready. And that's when life tests you.
Right.
People from your past will call you to see if you want to either go backwards or stay where you're at. I promise you, it will happen. And that's why That's where the definition of insanity came from. Even though it's not the true definition, people brought that from a book and they took that and then they put it upon someone and said that this is what someone said, when that isn't the case neither.
Right.
Insanity really was a law. It was just based on the books of the law, in the law of courts. That's honestly what it was. Whether you could stand trial or not, that's all it means. If you have the mental capacity to stand trial, it wasn't repeating the same thing and expecting a different outcome. That it was not. That's something that's called mental something, rigidity, mental rigidity. That's exactly what that is. And that's whether your mind is able to get out of something or stay focused onto what you're used to. And it's about change, whether you can accept change or not. It's about a mental thought process of whether you can accept change. It has nothing to do with insanity. It has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with it. And it's weird how people pick up something and turn it into something and make it become something. And we believed it for so long that everybody else passed it on. Remember when we were younger and we did that, what was it, 7-Up or the telephone thing, and they tell us one story and it went through and everybody else got to say what at the end what the story really was.
Yeah.
And it was never the same.
Come out at the end a whole different thing. They'd be talking about Pepsi instead of 7-Up. Yep.
And that's basically what it's about. It's basically how you would take it, how you perceive it, how you hear it, how you feel on it. And then everybody else put their perception on it and their twist on it and the gist of it. But it's not really even that at all. It's not. And it was comfortable with us to thinking that could be insanity, but it's not. So at the end of the day, do we want a different outcome in life or do we want to stay stuck? And it's about leaping those hurdles, jumping through and having faith. Do you move forward or do you return to what's familiar?
I've always said, man, I stay moving forward. I do. I'm not one to go backwards. I'm not. I can't. I don't even like looking backwards, man. I really don't. I catch myself doing it all too often, with reflection and thinking about past and past mistakes or past experiences, But I mean that does shape who we are. But no, I'm not one to go backwards. I'm not. I move forward.
I don't know if learned behavior shapes who we are. It does give us the ability to not do it again. But nonetheless, I don't know. It's all, that's another perception thing. And it's all about how you want to heal and see it. If it helps you sleep at night, please hold on to that. I'm not against that. At the end of the day, everything happens for a reason, even the shitty things.
Yes.
Even the shitty things. Now, nothing happens to you, it only happens for you. And do you want a different outcome in life? Because we came here for a reason. We all have a purpose. And when we walk in that divine energy of that purpose and the Christ-like conscious, and this is just my opinion, when you walk into that divine order of Christ-like conscious, as above, so below.
Yeah.
And it's only because you're ready for it.
Right. And I just think about it like, with experience comes wisdom. And so we can't necessarily just completely forget our past, because those are you've told me about it's where those life lessons come into play. And at some point we get past the point where we're no longer, we don't need to learn any more lessons. We just need to live. But we never get to that point of just needing to live without gaining the wisdom that we gain through those lessons and the experience, So it's all, to me, it's all an important part of our path, and the direction, the end goal, or who we become,
Spiritualness, awareness, awakening. It's new for a lot of people.
Right.
Those that always spoke that always thought that way, were called crazy, were judged, were put down. were burned at the stake because they were considered witches.
Right.
Yet, if you look deep into the overpopularized book of the Bible and you read, spells are everywhere you go. What do you think prayer
Yeah,
is?
that's true.
And
You know,
people are enchanting things constantly. Everything's been spiritually. And
yes.
religion became forced and made it become something that it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
And there's the only difference between religion and spirituality is what? What do you
The
think the
dif-
difference between religion and spirituality is?
oh, I think there's a huge difference. Religion is just what's taught by man. Spirituality is just something that's always been there. It's always existed. You know, yeah, the spiritual realm is something that it was here before man was. You know, that's so yeah,
Religion is conformed,
yeah, yeah.
a
And
conformed way of
it's
thinking, a
non-conformity.
conformed way of action, a conformed way.
Yeah,
Spirituality is natural. It's not
yeah,
forced. And it's
right.
just alignment. And that's the difference because people want to put, like I said, they want to put a reason for everything and they want to give credit to so many things that they forget to where the credit should come from and what the credit should be for.
Right. And you know, speaking of the spells thing, this is uh, about I think it was 2 weeks ago, might have been 3 weeks ago, but me and mom we went to church and the pastor was talking about, and I can't remember what part of the good book it's in, man, but he was telling the story about how a man was being stoned, or a woman, it might have been a woman who was being stoned, and Jesus approached and wrote something in the sand, and then he said, he who is without sin shall throw the first stone. But then the pastor also talked about how, you know, they don't say in the book what Jesus wrote in the sand. And and me and my mom on our way home, you know, she was talking about, she mentioned that, and I said, you know, mom, I've read that verse before, and it's always been my belief that what he wrote in the sand wasn't words. He was writing a spell. He was putting symbols in the sand, a protection spell over this person, that woman, you know, and they couldn't put that in the book because it would be anti religious or anti-Christianity, you know, preaching or saying that Jesus was casting a spell. But I still believe that, you know, that's why they don't talk about it, and they couldn't translate that either. You know, even of that day, they couldn't translate the symbols that he drew in the sand that were that pertinent. Again, this is just my personal belief, but I've always felt that. Like I remember reading that verse when I was pretty young and saying, so he wrote something in the sand, but they don't talk about what he wrote. And it's probably because it was something they couldn't translate. There's
Mm.
something that they didn't know. And what he was doing was casting a spell of protection over this woman, you know? And so, yeah, me and my mom were actually just kind of talking about that, though. And
You know, they say religion is organized, right? It
yeah,
is a system created around shared beliefs, teachings, and practices.
yeah,
Okay. Now, spirituality, it is personal. It's about direct connection to yourself, life, and whatever you believe is greater than you. It's so simplified.
yeah.
It's so
And,
simplified. In religion's not really that simplified.
right. Yeah, spirituality is nature, man. That's natural, and religion is forced, or it's man made. And like you said, it personal belief anyway. It's all designed to force others to conform to conformity. You know.
And I've seen so many videos and so many things to align with affirmations of that. Really, the real and I'm not going to go too deep into that because that's here nor there, and I don't want to speak
Right.
on that right now. But most
Right.
Christians, and this is just my beliefs and this is just my opinion because that's all it is, an opinion. Christians, especially educated Christians that have like degrees, doctorates, and whatnot, that've been to school for a long time. You try to explain something to them and they will shun you and they will cast that stone to you so much because you're not aligned with how they believe.
Right.
Now, if it's someone spiritual and you tell them everything, I don't care what it is, even a Christian can come up to them and tell them how, this and this and this and this and this. They're not going to shun them. They're not going to dismay them. They're not going to cast them away, because everybody's allowed to feel how they want to feel. That's spirituality. You notice the difference?
Yeah. Yeah.
We talk of love, and those that really should love are the ones that are walking and talking in for God and Jesus and whoever you believe in. That really should be love. Yet that is the ones that criticize the most, degrade the most, condemn the most, say we're sinners, we're born from sin.
Right.
If you're going to go to hell because you like the same sex, it's okay to touch children, but it's not okay to like the same sex.
Right.
I can't wrap my head around humans and how they think and what they believe to be truth.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I just can't do it. It's not my place to. Anyways, it's not my place to. It's hard enough for me to sit inside my own thoughts and direct those to even worry about what somebody else is doing.
I feel that though. I do.
So can you read the reflective?
Yeah. Growth isn't proven in comfort. It's revealed in pressure. It's in the moment you pause instead of react. The moment you breathe instead of fall back. The moment you choose differently, even when it's hard. That's where change lives, not in what you've learned, in what you live. Love that.
Me too. So here's a bridge to next week real quick before we close. This week showed us something real, how we move. When life gets uncomfortable, what still pulls at me or you? And what already begins is beginning to shift. So next week, we begin to looking at where your energy is blocked. I want to talk about the chakras. I want to talk about what a blocked chakra looks like and what an unblocked chakra looks like and what is stopping you. And where you already are just flowing. Because once you can see that clearly, then you can begin to move differently, not from survival, through alignment. So what's your positive quote / wisdom that you want to pass on to someone that's
positive
listening?
Message is something that somebody special to me has preached to me for years, and really I just finally got it memorized, because every time I heard it I said, man, I got to remember that one. And and it took me a long time, man, but it's I can't remember now. No, I'm just joking. I'm playing. No, honestly, my positive message is this: when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change.
Yeah, I always used to say you can't change your world, but you can change how you see your world and watch your world change. That's
right. Yeah.
That's what I always said. So yeah, it's similar.
And that one's been preached to me for a good few years now, man. It took until just actually, I wanted to say that one last week, but I couldn't. I drew a blank again, and so I practiced this week, like just reminding myself every day, because I knew I didn't want to come to a loss of words, and I feel like that one needed to be heard too. You know, it's big, man, and once it started to really sink in with me, then it held even more meaning. You know, so.
Yeah.
So yeah, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change.
And that's true. And that's so true. That's so true. I love everything in life that's happened to me. I'm grateful for everything in life that has happened for me. How I see it is not the issue anymore. It's I'm ready to receive it. It's how I'll receive it from here out.
Right on.
So.
Yeah.
So with that being said, we're the ears that were listening, where your opinion matters. Don't just be different, become the difference. Until next time. And thank you everyone for taking time out of your day to come here with us. May your night be full of positive energy and high vibrations filled with peace and love. Ashe, everyone. Thank you.
Let's get to the bottom of this one. Unspoken truths that I miss one. Tap into the minds of the people, rather acknowledge before I dismiss one. Atheists, Muslim, Christians, Buddhists, they all got usage. All got perspective, it's a collective. Get to the bottom what the truth is. With our hearts uncovered, where detox from all of the lies you smothered. When them tries could have killed you, but with faith you recover. Yup. Peel off the makeup, we finna take off. Never said it'd be a cakewalk. Meditate till we charged up. Execute goes regardless. Decalcify my pineal. Breaking language barriers, we saw millennials. Planets passing age rotations, down me we owe. So down me we know. Sometimes we can be slow, that's why my ears open. Every drop you add could complete the ocean. Speak up, play your part too. Been vulnerable, it's all